Good afternoon. Hope you guys are having a wonderful start to your week. I'm kind of back to life now. I had like a headache all weekend, so I've been kind of down, but I went out and got some bird stuff today and some flowers. Stuff for the wild birds and the chickens. I got some feeders for the finches. I love those. I usually draw in a lot of finches once the sunflowers bloom, but I like to watch them year round. So I got this and some special feed, and I thought this was cute, maybe easy to clean out and put different type of feed in here. I think you can put mealworms and various stuff, but I don't know, I'm gonna try it out. It's actually a nice day in the shade. How big my grass has gotten. It trimmed all the way down to like 6 inches in the late winter. Probably February, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's already grown that much. Ooh, it's starting to warm up out here, y'all. We'll have to do my outdoor stuff in the evening today. Cool. I got some of the mini bells. I call them mini bells. They're super cute. And then I got these I need to pot somewhere. And these are celosia. My he needs some sleep. We're sitting out here relaxing. Is that the word?
Yeah, that's where I'm.
We're sitting out here actually having a relaxing evening, but it might be cut short because clouds starting to look kind of mean. The sky's looking a little angry. And I just got a severe thunderstorm warning on my phone, so I don't know what's coming. Good afternoon. Hope you guys are having a wonderful day. It is a pretty day here in East Tennessee. It was pretty cloudy this morning. It actually looked like it was going to rain, but it's cleared up beautifully. And there's actually a nice cool breeze today. It rained yesterday, so everything's still kind of damp. I don't think I'm going to have to water today, but I am going to have to go to the garden and do some weeding. I got to plant some onions and put some weed fabric down. So if it's not too hot down there, that's what I'm doing at the moment. I've also got some flowers to repot. Let's check the greenhouse out. Let's see what the temperature is in here. We're at 85. I'm gonna water in here before I go down to the garden. I like to water when it's pretty warm in here. weed fabric. Now this is not exactly the weed fabric that I was intended on putting in this garden. My father-in-law had already purchased it, so like I said on the last couple videos that I used it, we're just going to try it and see what it does. I know you're supposed to use the very thick weed barrier fabric for the gardens, and that's what I would like to try, especially if this one doesn't work out, but we'll see. Alright, so I'm working on securing this stuff down. Now, the difference between this stuff is really, I do believe this stuff is something that's supposed to be laid down for like flower beds and things that you're not going to remove and take up the next season. Now, I don't want to say this, my father-in-law is probably listening on here, but I told him what to get, what he needed to get, but he got this. He's stubborn. So my fear, or my thoughts, are that this stuff, since it's not going to be reusable, again, probably not. You know, when he says, oh, it lasts 15 years, and maybe it does, once you get it placed, you know, underneath like a gravel bed or, you know, your flower beds, and you get it in place and you're not messing with it anymore, and then it'll last, you know, 5, 10, I don't know, 15 years maybe, they say. But that is not really what this is designed for. So some of the fabric you're seeing people lay out in the garden rows and stuff, it's super thick. They'll burn holes in it to get the holes cut out for plants and things. And it can be rolled back up and reused over and over. Whereas this stuff, I'm thinking even possibly might be hard to remove at the end of the season. I don't know. This is purely going to be just an experiment this year because he's already bought it. I'm going to put it down. That's what I've done. I'm laying bricks on it because I'm not going to want to put it in with landscape pins or anything like that, just because we're going to want to pull it back up. And that's difficult to do once you've got landscape pins in it and stuff. I don't want them in the ground. We'll be tilling again here. So this is what I'm doing. This is what I've come up with. We've got it down. We'll check it out over this summer and see how it does. It might fail. It might be an epic fail at some point. That happens to me sometimes. Happens to all of us. But I've not got one of these perfect channels where everything's just perfectly lined up and everything's just absolutely perfect, because life is just not like that sometimes, y'all. It's just not. Realistic here. Sometimes you just gotta laugh about things that happen in life. I mean, if not, they'd drive you crazy, right? Okay. So, I'm going to put a few more rows down because over here, I've got what looks like some reseeding stuff. And last year, there was pumpkins, watermelons, gourds of all kinds in here. So, that could be a number of things coming up. We'll see. If we get one watermelon out of here, it'll be more than last year. So, that would be a positive, right? That would be a plus. I know my mom grew watermelon in her raised bed, and she had super good luck with that. The older I get, the more I just love raised beds. They're so practical. Yeah, I just love them. They're so easy on your back. Grow so good in them. There's virtually no weeding in those. I do top them off with soil. I know one thing that would make things easier with the raised beds is if I decided to do some really big ones somewhere else, I would probably make them a little bit more feasible for the tractor to dump stuff in. So you can fill raised beds up in the fall with lots of other material so it can break down over the winter, and when spring comes, you don't have to fill them up with so much soil that you'd have to go buy somewhere. You can use a lot of that stuff to break down in there, which, like I said again, my chicken compost works awesome. You can put, like, we have a wood pile that we use for our wood stove. You can put a lot of those wood chips and broken up stuff in the bottom and fill it up. So you can do a lot of things that are cost effective for those raised beds. But I absolutely love my raised beds. I thought about, you know, at some point just making some really big rows of raised beds somewhere up there closer to the house. So that might be in the near future. I don't know. It's just a thought. I also thought about maybe putting a couple of those in like a hoop house. And not something I would heat like I do my greenhouse, but the hoop house where it would extend the seasons a little bit, you know, earlier spring, later in the fall. And then you could grow stuff in those, kind of controllable too. Probably keep some of the critters out and things like that. So that's also another thing that's a possibility. I think I'm going to weed these a little bit, and then I'm going to go ahead and plant some of the extras that I've got. Weeds are creeping through again, y'all. It's also time to start healing the potatoes, and you want to do that. I try to do that when they get about 6 inches tall, and that helps with moisture on these roots and to strengthen them up, to kind of get rid of some of these weeds. And you can do that with like straw, compost. I actually did it with my compost pile last year. I didn't get them preserved really good over the winter, and I want to work on that this year. I want to do something different that'll preserve these things better, that I can keep them maybe in my basement. Not can them. I'd rather preserve them as whole potatoes. So maybe I didn't let them cure out good first before I stored them. So I'm going to kind of look into that a little further. All right, I'm back. I had to let some time pass. It was hot earlier. So it's time to water my flower garden, which I've got some shade in here now, which is good. And then I'm headed down to the big garden, and I'm gonna do some weeding. May have to water it. Depending on how dry it is down there. I've also got to plant some onions. I'm gonna do that, and look at everything coming up, y'all. Looking good. I'll check out my sunflower. Overachiever. I'm gonna plant some of these marigolds in here. Oh, these will fill out nicely. They did last year. Oh, they were so pretty, and they lasted for so long. Look how pretty those are. I put about 3 in here because I know those will spread quite large. I've got these right here. And I think what I'm going to do with these that I have left, and I'm going to plant the rest of these right here in some of my planters up front because I think they'll look really pretty up there. I've also got this rare colored zinnia that I saved from last year. I planted it, but they did not come up. I planted like 4 little cups in my seed trays, and none of those come up. So I'm a little disheartened about that, but I'm gonna give it another try. Oh y'all, there's a nice breeze. It feels good. I've got my potatoes healed. They look nice. Good morning. It is a beautiful morning here in East Tennessee. I'm kind of getting a late start. I had another headache, but praise the Lord, it's let up. So I am repotting some stuff this morning. I'm trying to get flowers up at the front here. And I got some of these pretty ones. I thought I'd just hang here by my bird feeder. Aren't they so beautiful? And I planted those in this little pot, and I put some chicken compost on the top. So I'm just gonna top off a lot of my plants with this chicken compost. Gotta go get my marigolds and a little bit of potting soil that I'm going to mix with the compost, and that should be sufficient. Look how beautiful the sky is today.